Hi guys, it's Tom here, and today I wanted to make a video where I talk about Squalor in Rome Total War. So first of all, what is Squalor? Well, it means the same as it just does in normal English, which is squalid conditions where things are really overcrowded. It also means kind of dirty. It's quite typical in sort of Victorian England, that sort of thing. And it was also a problem in some ancient cities. And what squalor is basically where there's like, a lot of overcrowding and sort of poor conditions. And in this particular game, it's a function just of population in a city. So if we look at this little town here, there's only 400 people living here. There's no squalor at all. The icon for it is a little rat, and as you can see here, there's absolutely no squalor in here because there's almost no one living there. Everyone's kind of spaced out, is how you can think of it. But if I go to a city like Carthage, for instance, and I look here, you can see there's 32,000 people living in here, and you can see the squalor is pretty bad. It's actually doing minus 10.5% off the population growth, and it also gives a public order penalty, which is capped at 100%. And basically, the reason why this is in the game is to limit how big your cities can get. Because if there were no Scholar in the game, your city would just grow exponentially. You'd have like 1 million people living in Carthage, and the more people you have in the settlement, the more trade that can happen, and the more you can tax that, and the more money you can get. So basically, Squalor is implemented into the game to stop you from becoming infinitely rich from having infinite number of people in your city. So it's designed to slow you down, and it's designed to limit how much money you can get. And there are some ways that you can reduce squalor in this game. The first is as the settlement grows and there are more people in it, you can upgrade it to the next size town. So you start off with the small towns, and as that becomes overpopulated, you can then upgrade it. And what this will do is reduce the amount of squalor that's actually in that settlement, because it sort of makes more space as it turns from like a small town into a large town. There is more space allocated, and squalor is reduced. And the second way to combat squalor is through public health buildings, and one of these is a sewer. And if I just open up the buildings browser really quick, you can see, hopefully if I can find it, yeah, here, so sewers and public baths. And this increases public health, and if I go over to this, it increases it by 10%. And what this will do, in the short term at least, is it will reduce squalor, and therefore increase the chances, increase the population growth of the settlement. And in this game, when you get plagues, it's normally because squalor is at 100% and the town is really overpopulated. So what you can do is you can build these buildings, like sewers and whatnot, which will reduce the amount of squalor in a settlement, and thereby decrease the chance of you getting plagues and things like that. But the trouble is, as I'm sure many of you are aware, it's sort of like a dynamic equilibrium. As you increase the public health of the settlement, it means squalor is reduced, which means then the rate of population growth goes up. And then as there are more people in the settlement, that then increases the squalor again. So there's no way that you can get around it. It's sort of hard-coded into the game. That if you get a settlement that's large enough, you will eventually have 100% squalor. And it caps at 100%, so it's not like public order just descends into anarchy or anything. But there's no way of getting around it. And the trouble is really that you can build all these public health buildings, I think, the Romans can keep going after the public baths. They can get aqueducts and all this sort of thing. And the trouble with that is, yes, in the short term, it does reduce the squalor, but in the long term, it just goes back up anyway. And it costs you all this money. And the other problem is, it gives your generals bad traits like expensive tastes, things like that. So, if Squalor is causing you a lot of problems, something that you can do is take your garrison out of the settlement. Let's say these guys here. What I would do is just take them out of the settlement, and that public order is at 40%. But if I set that to very high taxes, for instance, what I can do is let this settlement revolt, and then go back in and exterminate them. And what that will do is reduce the squalor right down to about 20%, and that will fix the squalor for about 20 turns. But yeah, there's no way of getting around it, really. You can exterminate your settlements, and you get a lot of money for that. And you might even get some good traits like harsh justice. But in the long run, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept that it's going to be 100%. And you just have to put your little garrisons in the settlements, and just live with it, really. So I think I've explained quite well what Squalor is in this game. If you have any questions, please do leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.